Ladies and gentlemen, the friend Lorenzana, Secretary of National Defense, Republic of the Philippines, and Lloyd Austin, Secretary of Defense, United States of America.
Good morning. The Philippines and the U.S. have shared a long history spanning more than 70 years of friends, partners, and allies. Our cooperation has expanded in the areas of political, economic, and socio-cultural relations, and our ties, including that between our defense departments, have continued to grow stronger. As we commemorate the 70th anniversary of our alliance and the 75th year since the establishment of our diplomatic relations, the Department of National Defense will come to visit Secretary Lloyd Austin III of the United States Department of Defense and his delegation to Manila as a timely opportunity to advance mutual interests with our two countries. This visit is another manifestation of the shared commitment to the alliance between our defense establishments and the inherent risks and challenges of the time. Every year this year, we were able to conduct the Lorenzana exercise, albeit in restricted settings because of the pandemic. We have also accommodated virtual engagement and high-level visits of U.S. military officials in accordance with our established guidelines and health protocols. The planning cycle for joint activities has been sustained and the conducted or adapted well to the current situation. Please denote that no challenge is insurmountable between long-standing allies and friends that are committed to attaining shared goals of stability and security. The bilateral nature of meeting we held this morning serves as a platform to discuss the way ahead for the Philippines-US alliance based on the current priorities of our respective administration. It underscores the significance of the bilateral defense relations between the Philippines and the United States in light of new and emerging challenges that will come our nation. Before I end this opening statement, last night, after the meeting between Secretary Austin and the President, after the President decided to recall or retract the termination date of the DFA. So, the DFA is in full force again. There is no termination letter pending. And we are back on track for the Secretary to plan for future exercises under the DFA. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Secretary Lorenzana, for your warm welcome. And thank you to the Filipino people for your hospitality. I'd like to start by offering my deep condolences for the tragic military plane crashes in late June and earlier this month. Our deepest sympathies go out to those who were injured and to the families of those who were lost. We continue to stand with the Philippines during this difficult time, and we will continue to support your response efforts. Now, it's a privilege to be here during my first visit to Southeast Asia as Secretary of Defense. And I'm glad to have the opportunity in person to reaffirm our shared commitment to the U.S.-Philippine alliance. The Philippines is a vital treaty ally, our oldest in Asia, and an equal and sovereign partner. This year we mark the 75th anniversary of our diplomatic relations and the 70th anniversary of our Mutual Defense Treaty. So it's an especially good time to work together to advance our already robust defense cooperation. And on behalf of the U.S., let me thank President Duterte for his decision to fully restore the visiting forces agreement. Our country faces a range of challenges, from the climate crisis to the pandemic. And as we do, a strong, resilient U.S.-Philippines alliance will remain vital to the security, stability, and prosperity of the Indo-Pacific. A fully restored BFA will help us achieve that goal together. Today, Secretary Lorenzana and I had a productive discussion on additional ways to further deepen our long-standing cooperation on several security issues important to both our countries. At the top of my agenda was finding ways to enhance and reinvigorate our alliance and our mutual defense treaty. These include maritime cooperation, support to further modernize the armed forces of the Philippines, and investments that will help the Philippines navigate the region's complex security environment. We also discussed our counterterrorism cooperation and especially strong area of common support. The United States has supported the counterinsurgency effort in Mindanao since 2000, and we now provide support in the only main operation in the Indo-Pacific, Operation Pacific Eagle, Philippines. I also reaffirmed America's commitment to supporting a sovereign and secure Philippines and to building an even more capable alliance together. We also talked about how we can work toward a free and open Indo-Pacific rooted in a rules-based international order, a region in which countries work together to realize their highest aspirations and to safeguard the rights of all of their citizens. And I underscored my belief that as democracies with shared values, it is important that we protect the rights of our citizens. Now, I'm especially grateful for our long-standing U.S.-Philippines Visiting Forces Agreement, which enables us to respond swiftly and seamlessly to disasters or crises. Thanks to the BFA, the Department of Defense can conduct more than 300 bilateral engagements a year with the armed forces of the Philippines, from expert exchanges to ship visits to component exercises and major training exercises such as Balakatan, which was held this April. And as you know, Balakatan means shoulder to shoulder in Tagalog. And that's exactly how we hope our alliance will face the future. Because at the heart of this alliance is a relationship built on common interests and values. And the ties that bind us have been reinforced by a shared history of service and sacrifice. You know, coming here is personally very powerful for me. My father served proudly in the Philippines during World War II as a corporal in the United States Army Air Force. He was one of many American and Filipino service members who fought side by side to defeat aggression and secure freedom in the Pacific. Later today, I'll visit the Manila American Cemetery, where many of the Filipino and American veterans who fought during World War II are buried, shoulder to shoulder, just as they served. And we will continue to stand with the Filipino people, just as we stood together 8 decades ago, side by side, arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder, Balakatan. Secretary Lorenzana, thank you again.
Thank you very much, Secretary Lorenzana and
Secretary Austin. If you're indulgence, we will now proceed to the question and answer. First question will come from Gino Gaston of GMA Center.
Secretary Austin. No, sir. The recent encounter between the Philippine Coast Guard and the Chinese military boat has shown PH for the Philippines when it can be asserted in the West Philippine Sea. How does this newfound assertiveness of the Philippines figure in what the U.S. and its allies are trying to accomplish in the region, particularly the West Philippine Sea? And then, did this issue figure in the discussion with President Duterte last time?
Sorry, I have a tough time hearing your question.
Right, sorry. There was an encounter between the Chinese military boat and the Philippine boat in the West Philippine Sea. So this newfound assertiveness, how does this figure in what the U.S. is trying to accomplish in the West Philippine Sea? And then did this issue figure with the discussion with the President last night?
Yeah. Well, I believe the question is regarding our commitment to mutual defense treaties. I think that's the essence of the question. You know, one of the reasons that I'm here today is to reaffirm that the U.S. security commitment to the Philippines is ironclad. And that commitment, as Secretary Blinken stated a while back, extends to the South China Sea. And so as we celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Mutual Defense Treaty this year, the commitment to our security partnership with the Philippines is stronger than ever. Secretary Lorenzana reminded me that the treaty is actually older than me, which is pretty old, I think. But nonetheless, it's one that we are committed to. And again, I would reemphasize that it does extend to the South China Sea.
Thank you very much for your question, Gino. The next question will come from Idris Ali of Reuters.
For both secretaries, obviously restoring the DFA is quite important. Secretary Lorenzana, what do you believe the reason the President agreed to restore it? It's something that's been talked about for months. Why now? And Secretary Austin, how important is it that it's been restored? And in practical matters, what impact will it play
I don't really know the reason behind the President's decision. I'm not part of the decision making. But one thing is clear, the Department of Foreign Affairs and the ambassador to the United States have been actually working for this to happen. And maybe the President is not pleased that it will continue to be a very highly decision.
Well, as you know, the President had extended our ability to continue to train and operate together. And so we've had the ability to do what we think is necessary to continue to build capability, capacity, and interoperability with the Philippine forces. This provides us some degree of certainty going forward, so we can plan further in advance, and with that long-range plan, we can actually do more comprehensive exercises. Having said that, we're doing 300 exercises and exchanges a year. That includes a range of activities. And again, this provides us a certainty that I think is important to ensure that we continue to produce quality training events.
Thank you for your question, please. The next question will be given by Michael Flores of the Dallas Congress.
Secretary Lorenzana, when the DFA was fully restored, is it restored in
a provisional fix, or are there revisions to the Philippines security that raise concerns, particularly on the custody issues that there is an American soldier accused of committing crimes to the Philippines? And Secretary Austin, you mentioned it provides flexibility, but one particular important aspect of the reaffirming the US-PH agreement, and there were activities that were stalled because of this uncertainty. Are there specific activities now under the account that will proceed, considering that the President has decided to fully restore the
there is nothing to restore in the DFA. The original documents there, what happened was there was this termination letter that was submitted by the Philippines to the United States, showing the United States that the agreement was terminated in 6 months, which the President extended to the time. So that letter has been retracted. So as if nothing happened, and the DFA will continue. Now, with regards to custody of people, I think that's one of the kind of things that have been being worked out by both sides. And it will not affect the original document, but it will be just an adjust or addition
In terms of what was stalled, potentially, because of the lack of certainty, actually nothing. We, because the President had extended our ability to train and operate together, we were able to continue to do a number of things. Again, this provides certainty for us going forward, where we can do long-range planning and do different types of exercises and incorporate more capabilities. So, again, I think it's a very welcome decision, and we look forward to continuing to partner with our great partners here in the Philippines.
Thank you for your question. The last question will be given by Lorenzana and Austin of CDS.
Secretary Austin, the President has asked you to determine how and when mandatory vaccine will be implemented. Do you see that timeline being a matter of weeks or days? And what kind of housing?
Well, I can't predict how long it's going to take. As you would expect me to do, I'll go back and consult with my medical professionals and the chairman and the secretaries of the services and the chiefs of the services, and we'll outline the steps for the way ahead. But we'll move as expeditiously as possible. I quite frankly am inclined to move towards making sure that everybody is properly protected. This is an issue of risk and readiness for the service. And we're going to make sure that the health of the force is very, very important. I mean, we're going to make sure we take care of the troops. We're going to do it in the right way, and so we'll look at this with our medical professionals and the service secretaries and chiefs, and then we'll outline that timeline. But we won't let grass grow under our feet. The President directed us to do something, and we'll get out.
Mr. Secretary, you said that you wanted to use this country review. Could you explain why and what you want to change?
Not this was specific provisions there. I just want to revisit it and make it more relevant to our situation.
Thank you very much for your question, Alana. That concludes our joint press conference this morning. Thank you, Secretary Lorenzana and Secretary Austin. I'd like to ask everyone to please stay on your place while we allow our principals to leave Traveling Emilia with the